Namaste with Renee. I am your host, Renee Marcou, CEO of the iHeart Academy Life Coaching Certification and Business Building Program, entrepreneur for over 15 years, spiritual and wealth advocate, and professional singer. And in this podcast, we talk about how to disrupt the program of lack and limitation and instead consciously design your life so you can experience more happiness, inner peace. You can be living on purpose in your career and also realize your unlimited potential. Hello and welcome to Namaste with Renee. I'm your host, Renee Marcou, here with a very special guest today. Her name is Jessica Bledsoe, and she is the co-founder and CEO of this amazing app, Paver, which is a digital calendar time management application that redefines the concept of productivity. So through her app, you can take back control of your time by providing a way to create valuable insights and analytics from your calendar data. So please welcome to the show, Jessica. It's so nice to have you here. Thanks for being here. Please tell us about yourself and your app. I'm so excited to learn about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Renee. I'm super excited to be joining you. So Paver is a digital calendar app. So it integrates directly with Google Calendar. So there's, over 1 billion Google Calendar users. And there's so many of us that really just rely so heavily on our calendars. Like, I know a lot of people who joke like, oh, if it's not in my calendar, it's not going to get done. And I'm definitely one of those people. And, we got the idea for the app because we were working with other small businesses at the time. And we just kept seeing a need from it. And we knew how much they relied on their calendar. And there just isn't a great way to get the data that's in your calendar out of your calendar and start to make any sense of it. So that's really what we built, was a way to organize the data in your calendar so that you can export it out of the calendar and see exactly how and where you're spending your time. So you can start to see if that's aligning with your goals and your priorities. And if not, how can you adjust as you go into the week ahead or the month ahead to make sure that you're staying in alignment with your goals and with your priorities. So it's, you're getting work done, but you're still creating time and space to work towards those big goals too.
Yes, for sure. I love that part to your app because I think that we can go through just like writing things in a calendar, week after week that we think is actually productive, which actually could be counterproductive. So it's like nice that you have built this app so you can really see like, hey, I should spend more time here, or let's take away time here and put it towards something else that's going to help me in my business. Are you gearing towards entrepreneurs and business owners? Is that your niche?
Yeah, so I like to say that we help business owners and busy people. It really, the calendar is so fluid that it really just, it depends on what your needs are, but whether you're a business owner or just a busy person who just wants to make more time for your family or your personal goals, you could certainly use Paver for that. But, I'm just super passionate about small business owners and specifically female small business owners. I feel like I just resonate with their struggles because I owned a small business myself for 8 years before we started the app. And so I just, I know how difficult it is to wear all those hats. And I know how difficult it is when you're a woman and you're trying to juggle all these things. So I've just kind of made it my personal mission to have a message that speaks directly to them. But Paver is really for anyone who just needs help managing that time and taking back control of their time. That's the thing we see over and over again when we get like customer feedback is like, I just want to feel in control of my time again. I feel like I'm just, I'm working all week, but I'm not actually getting anything done and I don't understand why. And so we can really start to look at that data that's in your calendar and you can see, oh, I spent 15 hours in meetings last week. No wonder I didn't get all the things done that I needed to do. It's because I was in meetings or I was traveling to meetings and I need to start saying no to so many meetings. So it just gives you a really good snapshot of where your time is going.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I can see that you have the passion for, like you were saying, like the entrepreneur, the person who puts so much on their plate and the person who's, like could be a solopreneur who's really just, starting out their business, for example. What was the like key for you? Like, what was that for you that you were just like, that's it, I have to create this app for people?
So really, before I even created the app, like I said, I was a small business owner myself. So my husband and I, we owned a service-based business. We provided IT services to other small businesses.
Okay.
And we really helped them start to like integrate and automate their business systems using technology. And like we would, deploy robots to do like automation and things in their business. And so I just, I saw a lot of the struggles that I was having personally in the other small businesses that we were helping as well. But, I really just kind of hit a wall myself where I felt like I was working all the time and I didn't have the freedom that I thought being my own boss was going to give me. Like I thought that, by owning a business, I was going to be able to take more than 2 weeks of vacation a year. And like there were days where I didn't even feel like I could have like 2 hours without having to check my phone or my email or whatever that might be. And it was just really frustrating because I felt like I was doing all this hard work and it wasn't paying off in terms of like actual money in my pocket and giving me that freedom that I wanted.
Yeah.
And so I was like, there just has to be, there has to be a better way. I know that there are other people who have the life that I'm trying to create with this business. Like, what is this secret that they're holding on to? And, I just personally just decided to get really intentional with my time. I realized that I was just kind of throwing things at the wall and hoping they would stick, and realized that the strategies that I was using, well, first of all, they weren't even strategies. Like they were just like half baked ideas that I saw somewhere and thought, oh, maybe I should try that too. So I wasn't really putting any intentional time into figuring out the best way to do that. So
Mhm.
once I really made that decision just to get really intentional with my own time and start to, I was like working towards this unclear vision of success. Like I didn't know what it would have meant to me to have, quote unquote, made it. So I just got really clear on what it was that I wanted, and started getting really intentional with my time and saying no to things that didn't align with that vision of success that I had for myself. And so I was doing that kind of personally. And then I saw that there were, other small businesses who could really benefit from that same sort of level of intentionality. And then on top of just all the other needs they had from their calendar, we just kind of got the idea for the app. And honestly, we didn't know what we were going to do with it because at the time, neither one of us knew how to code. Like we're technically inclined, but coding's a whole different ballgame. But long story short, my husband, who's now my co-founder in the app, he taught himself how to code and he's built the app, completely from scratch. And it was really just because we were just super passionate about what we wanted to build and knew that it was solving a real problem that, that we were having and that we saw so many other people having as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was just, a need that we had and that we recognized in other people. And we just got desperate enough that we decided to build it ourselves.
I love that. That's so amazing. And I also love so much that it's you and your husband in this business together. And one thing that really keeps sticking with me when you're saying it is that learning how to, I think what's great about your app is seeing that, yes, people are spending time doing things that really are counterproductive, but you're also learning how to say no to the things that aren't serving you. And I think as entrepreneurs and business owners, we always just see, oh, could this be the next opportunity that's going to get my brand out or my name out or something, right? So sometimes we get into that kind of struggling or lack mentality where we're just kind of stuck in a rope of, oh, well, I can't say no. Well, I can't say no. But it's like with your app, you're providing the opportunity for people to really see, I have to start saying no if I'm, quote unquote, wasting time over here or energy. So I think that's a great piece.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I think it's so much easier to say no when you can look at your calendar and you can see these are all the things that I have already kind of pre-planned for myself to get me towards that goal. And if I say yes to this thing, then it's taking time away from that goal. So unless it's really just in alignment with what it is you're trying to achieve, it just becomes easier to say no to those things because you have data now to back it up. Like we kind of have like we have those feelings, but like you said, sometimes we get stuck in that kind of lack mindset where we feel like we have to say yes to everything because if we don't, we might be losing out on something. And I spent a lot of time in a lack mindset before I even realized what a lack mindset was. And then I was, it was like a light bulb moment where I was like, oh my God, I'm just doing all these things out of desperation and not out of alignment with my higher purpose. And so, yeah, I think that just having access to the data just makes it so much easier to say no because you know that by saying no, you're really saying yes to the things that are actually going to move you forward.
Exactly. Yes, I love that point so very much. To get a little personal here, I know you said you and your husband started this app together. What has your experience been with your husband in business with you? Because I know we have a lot of listeners out there that are married or, have been with a partner for a long time that, maybe that's kind of sparking some interest for them. How has your experience been so far?
Yeah, so like I said, before we started the app, we owned our service-based business together as well. So we've been business partners for almost right at a decade now. And it was honestly, it was really difficult in the beginning because one, we didn't know what we were doing. Like we didn't know how to run a business. We were just kind of flying by the seat of our pants.
Uh,
And you have to make decisions and you have to make decisions quickly. And sometimes, I would decide one thing and he would decide another, and those wouldn't always be cohesive with each other. So there was a lot of learning in the beginning how to work together. But I think the thing that helps us the most is that we each have different skill sets, and we have our strengths and our weaknesses that really complement each other. And it was really just learning to balance those things and learning to kind of pick our lanes and stay in our lanes. So he's all the technical development side of things, so he gets to make the decisions on what platforms we're building the app on and what makes the most sense for us, and like where our technical roadmap is going. Whereas I am more business focused. I'm the one that, really is more front facing in the business, and I do the fundraising, and I do customer retention and marketing and things like that. Right now there's just the two of us, so we're kind of doing all the things, but we try to figure out where our strengths are and just kind of let each other stay in those lanes as much as possible. So we make all the big decisions together, and then we kind of map out like, this is you and this is me, and this is how we're going to move forward. And once we figured that out, it's honestly, it's so easy now, and I love it because he's my best friend too, so it's like I get to work with my best friend, and
yes.
we get to see that success together now, so it's really cool.
That is so amazing. I love hearing that so much. I come from parents who are still together after 30 something years, and they owned a jewelry store in the town in the city area that I grew up in. And for me, it was quite a cool experience because I didn't have any other friends who had, parents who were like working, together. It was always separate. That was a different part, but there's something to be said about it that's really cool. It's a very unique experience, and it's very, you like you said, if you stay in your lane, each person really gets to shine in what they're doing, and then you continue to move the business forward. And I was able to see that and witness that with my parents and also my grandparents, which was such a blessing. So I just love so much that even though it's not me in the relationship, that I got to witness that with them, that we have that in common. And I know that for sure there will be other people, some of the listeners who are also saying the same thing too. So I'm curious, how does your app actually work? So say, for example, I've just downloaded it. What do I do from there?
So it's a web app, which means that you're not going to find it like in the app store on your phone. It connects directly with your Google Calendar. So the best way to get it is to launch your Google Calendar from your computer. Over on the sidebar, there's going to be a little plus sign where you can install it directly from the Google Marketplace. And then what it does is it now connects directly to your calendar. So it allows you to set up categories for your calendar. So you can go through all of your calendar events and you can add categories for those things, like, okay, this was a meeting, this was time I spent working on project work or with clients, this was time I spent doing content creation for social media or blogging. And you can kind of go through your calendar and apply categories to all those different events on your calendars. You can even apply labels. So if you're working with multiple clients, you might have time blocked off for your clients on your calendar to work on that project with them. And so you have client work as the category, but then as the label, you could have each of your clients. So exactly you spent how much time on client A, client B, client C, and it can kind of create like a project management for you throughout your calendar. And then it gives you additional fields that you can add. So if there's things that you want to put on there that maybe you don't want somebody who's invited to that calendar event to see, you can keep track of all those things. But then the most valuable part of it is that once you apply those categories and those labels, then with just a click of a button, you can export a report, and it creates these really cool pie charts that show you exactly how much time you spent in each of those categories or in each of those labels. So like I said, you can see, am I on track with this project and the number of hours that I quoted to complete it in? Am I spending too much time in meetings? Am I spending so much time on content creation that it makes sense to outsource that to a social media manager now? You can really just start to gain some really valuable insights into how you're spending your time and make decisions about delegating tasks or bringing on new team members, or just, like I said, saying no to things that don't make sense anymore, because you can see that that's going to take time away from everything else that needs to be done.
Yes, for sure. I love this so much. I'm definitely hearing like all these lights go off in my head that are like, yes, I need this. And my client needs this for her business. And it's really cool that you've created a connection piece, right? From like, here's what I am, what I'm doing. Here's what I really want to be doing and where I'm heading. And you and your husband created this piece in the middle to help people get to where they want to go faster and with more productivity. And for sure, that's something I'm definitely going to look into and learn more about. So where can people find your app? Like if they want to the website app, where can they find?
So the best place would just be to go to getpaver.com. So it's GETPAVR.com. I also have a free 3-day challenge that is for the intentional calendar mapping method. So if you are someone who's maybe you're not yet in the routine of creating those goals and those priorities and laying them out on the calendar so you can actually see them, this will walk you through that process. I'm going to help you get just really super clear on what that vision of success is, what those goals are. And then we're going to create a map to make sure that within 90 days you're starting to achieve those goals while you're also creating time for the things in your business that just have to get done, right? Like there's always emails that need to be responded to, there's always going to be fires that need to put out, there's always work that needs to be done. So we're going to create space on your calendar for each of those things, so that as you kind of continue to move through that, then you have a process in place and it's just really easy for you to start to generate those reports and see exactly where your time is going, because we're only as good as the data that we can give it. So if you're just not in that habit yet, the 3-day challenge will take you through that. So you can find that on our website as well at getpaver.com.
Oh, that is awesome. And it's a 3-day challenge, home study.
Yep. So I'll pop into your inbox every day for 3 days, and I want you to be able to watch the video and do the homework in less than 30 minutes. So I know you're already busy. So the videos are typically like 5 to 10 minutes, and then you'll have some homework where on what that business success is, like what each of the goals are that it'll take to kind of get you there. You'll take a look at where you're currently spending your time, and then on the final day, we'll actually go and create the map on your calendar by creating time blocks to work towards not only your goals, but on everything else that needs to get done. And typically what we see is that we think we have to work 40 hours a week because that's just what we're traditionally taught. And then you see like, I don't actually need to do that. And so if you're someone where you're still working, full time and trying to do your side hustle, you can see that you can actually do a lot with, 5 hours a week or however much time you have. Or if you're full time, you can see that maybe you don't actually need 40 hours. You can get everything done in 20 or 25 hours. And now you've just created a lot more space to spend working on your personal goals, or just time with your family, friends, whatever is important to you.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm getting the chills because I always talk about freedom in our lifestyle with my clients or the listeners or everything else that I do in my business myself. And that's why I signed up to be an entrepreneur and a business owner in this lifetime, because I want to experience more freedom. I don't want to go and where somebody's going to be telling me what I must do and give me all these tasks and things that don't feel meaningful to my soul. So for me, it was, yes, like I'm going to have a freedom lifestyle to work when I want, to serve who I want, to be where I want to be, and also take care of self on the back end, or first thing in the morning, starting off with what I do in my morning. My morning routine is all about self-care so I can fill up that love within me. And then I can also do that for my business because I'm running the business right now, right? Like I have some people working for me. I have an amazing marketing team on board, but a lot of the creation and a lot of the time that goes into the business is through me. So I think that this app is really a godsend. And I'm so glad that you and your husband have created it, because I know for someone like me, it's going to be such a positive impact in my life. And I know many people out there, whether they are business owners entrepreneurs still starting, or just starting like a side hustle, like you had said, or a passion project, can really manage, their time better. And I'm just so delighted that you've shared this with all of our listeners today. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your light and your wisdom and your app, because I'm going to come and find it too. Would you remind everybody where to go?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to getpaver.com. It's GETPAVR.com. And you can always connect with me on Instagram at Jess Bledsoe. Feel free to slide into my DMs if you have any questions or need any help getting started. I'm always happy to help because I believe everyone should be able to work less and live more.
Yes, I love that. Work less, live more. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. So yes, everybody, if you're feeling called to it, for sure, check out the website and reach out to Jessica on Instagram so she can help you implement this new platform into your life. And as you know, if you are interested in learning more about Namaste with Renee, as well as the offers that are here and in my calendar, you can go to reneemarcou.com, and I will be happy to serve you as well. That's ReneeMarcou.com. And I'll be happy to connect you also with Jessica as well. You'll be seeing this interview here for Namaste with Renee on the website as well. So again, thanks so much for being here, Jessica. I wish you an amazing rest of your day. And thanks for sharing your light and energy with Namaste with Renee.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Namaste.